but on your screen you're seeing Lovable.dev right now, which helps you to type out your concept, see it come to life in seconds. If it's too good to be true, is it too good to be true? Or let's see, because today I want to help you explore Lovable.dev, a tool that promises to make app creation effortless. So let's see if it delivers. Okay, so the first screen you're seeing is literally what you'd put into a prompt. Like you'd put a prompt in here and you'll be able to really get it to create an app. So I've asked it to create quite a few for me over the last month of using this. These are all my projects. The last one is update that they've had is you can generate apps from a URL now. So I asked it to make me one like x.com, and it did in seconds. And this is what it looks like, right? Pretty impressive to be able to do it in seconds. The prompt I put is create me an app like x.com, right? It thought about it, it did it. Now, full transparency, none of these buttons, and I'm just gonna do a test here just to make sure that none of these buttons work. All of this is sort of like the front end. If you want it to work, you have to connect it with Supabase, and you have to be super specific of what you want each thing to have in each page as well. Just like you would if you was going to be speaking to a specific developer on what you want them to build. You've got to treat the tool exactly like that. And so that's just one of the tools I made. But I also want to share with you ones I have done a little bit earlier. Before we get into that, let's talk about this, the pros, the cons, and my experience, who this is for, and what you should be doing next following this video. So let's talk about the pros. All right, super intuitive, as you can see. If you're able to just put in the prompt and have a prototype fast in seconds, not weeks, then it's super beginner friendly, right? So first of all, it's super intuitive. Second of all, the prototypes are created really fast. Third of all, it's beginner friendly. And fourth of all, it's for entrepreneurs or creators. It's time saving. It's not a gatekeeper, right? It gives you the ability to do what you want to do. Here's the cons. Customization is limited. If you need a complex app, you might hit some walls and end up spending a lot of credit trying to get it to do what you need it to do in a complex way. That's what happened to me. Maybe 10 days into it, credit was run out because what I was asking it to do was more complex than maybe some of the general things that don't take up a lot of credit. Second of all, the code isn't always perfect, which, I mean, who is, to be fair? And you might need to get a developer to step in to refine things. Third of all, while it's fast, if you're trying to get this polished final product, even with the Supabase integration, you might find it's a bit buggy. So let me talk to you about my experience, right? I actually gave Lovable.dev a spin, as you can see. It was fun. I typed in my ideas for simple like tools, and like I'll give you an example of maybe one I did. I think 16 days ago now. Time flies when you're having fun. This was I wanted to do basically an assessment, and within that assessment people will be able to find out what's blocking their 100k months, right? So let me just make this bigger so you can see it. And I wanted it to obviously look good, so I prompted it to have a really good landing page to explain what they're going to be getting, and I made the buttons functional so they could start the assessment. And within the assessment I broke it into 3 key areas: simplifying, systemizing, and scaling. And people would just be able to say, do they agree, do they disagree, where they are at. So all again about my process and what I know is the thing that gets people go from scrambling for growth to actually strategic growth, right? And so they go through this and they say where they're at, and I'm just making up to go along. quick, and then they'll get the results, then they'll get the analysis, and then they can apply for my program or they can learn more. But then it also breaks down where it is they're doing well and what they could be doing even better. And it took a while to get to this point, but I think it's a good basic tool if you're trying to look for tools, and you can embed this into your website as well. So it didn't take me a huge amount of time, but it took a while just to tweak it to what was in my brain to have it on the page. There was times when I would create a new as a new feature, and it would completely make it white, the page. It would just disappear the previous one. So I'd have to say, hey, revert it back. And I used the word enhance the page. And that way it would know to build upon it rather than kind of removing it completely. So with this one, I've created additional pages. So like learn more, gives them my framework, and then also tells them what they will achieve, what the program includes, and then the transformation, and a link to my application page. So for me, when I'm thinking of this, it's cool. It's basic. It helps people understand where they're at, how I can support them, and fill the gap type thing. The challenge that I had with using this piece was around the authentication. It worked sometimes, it didn't work other times, as in like sometimes you could register and you could have your details and you sign in and it said I can't find it, your details, and then you'd say okay, I'm going to sign up again, and it would say I'm not doing it, so that I'm not going to be logging you in, like it's not working. That could be a problem with Supabase, and this is where you might need to get a developer in, because I tried and used many credits trying to resolve this, and every time it said no, we fixed it, went back and it wasn't fixed. It's almost like when you go to your hosting company and you say actually this thing isn't working, and they're like okay, we fixed this, it's all working now, and you check it yourself and you're like, did you actually check? Did you check it before you told me it's all working? And sometimes they don't, and so the point is you might need to develop it if you find yourself using a lot of credits trying to resolve things that it says it's fixed when it hasn't. But sometimes you need to reword it, and sometimes you need to kind of revert it back to when it was working. But either way, this is one of the ones that one of the apps I created that I thought was done pretty well. So let me go to my other ones I created. I did try to create a throwback to like Clueless, like a wardrobe thing. I also tried to create a burnout toolkit, which started off really well. Thought it was like pretty cool, and then the more I got into wanting to make it a bit more complex, the less it was working for me. But basically, people can go onto this app and they can see where they've got challenges, and then click on a tool that would help them. Take an assessment and then do the assessment after 6 days and see where they are at and see if they've shifted the needle forward. I've created frameworks that could help them move the needle forward. And so burnout proof leadership I thought was cool. I mean, how to have effective meetings, and then in there was supposed to be resources for boundary settings, and work-life balance and things like that, and mark as complete, which you've done now. And the authentication thing came up, which is a challenge because again, when just signed in, it didn't necessarily work, but I gamified it a little bit as well. If it was going to be doing things on a regular basis, they'll get achievement awards. You can view all assessments. So there's a few things here that look good as a prototype, right? How it would work. If you're taking somebody through your system of your thought process, then this is good enough. In terms of subscription, hey, this is what you get. For your subscription page was there. There was an audit piece page specifically. There was a referral program I created. Again, pretty cool, like 3 referrals in a month, what you get, etc. So all the ideas I had around this definitely came to fruition, even like things around effort hours calculator. tasks and how many hours it might take you and the effort it requires, and things around changing your password, two-factor authentication. So lots of features in here, right? Lots of things that gives people an idea of what they could get, and even like a boundary setting guide is one of the pieces. So cool. So that's my experience, right? It works really well. You get to really experiment with it. So let's go back to the drawing board of where we started, right? Who is this for? Who is Loveable for? If you're an entrepreneur and you want to test your app ideas, great. If you're a creator who wants quick mock-ups, fantastic. If you're a non-coder who wants to dip their toes into development, great. But if you're building complexity, you'll still need a developer to take it to the finish line, is the bottom line. And so, what do you think about Lovable.dev? It is a game changer, or are you sticking with traditional methods? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on more tech reviews. I'm literally going on this journey with you, right? So there's this really great tool I used the other day that helped me to create a sales agent, an AI one. It was phenomenal, and that video is coming soon, so do watch out for it. Yeah, let me know if what you're going to be using Lovable.dev for, and remember to subscribe.